Hey Laura, I wanted to run through a couple of the videos that were taken of Stormy when she was in training in Arizona, because I wanted to kind of point out why she acts the way she acts now, and how, horses remember everything, and so unfortunately it means she remembers all of this. So this was the first time she was haltered at the place, and you can see she's trying to escape, right? Which is really unfortunate. This is not how she should have been haltered whatsoever. So this is, why it's such a struggle, and why you have to put the rope on her, and why she doesn't come to you, and why it's taking so long for me to counter condition the halter to make it a positive experience. And here you can see that not only was it really difficult to put the halter on her, they also left a rope on her, right, so they could catch her. So she probably got stuck in the field on things often, which means, she probably hurt her head a lot. She, has to be dragged in. She's not walking towards them, which indicates to me that she doesn't want to engage with them whatsoever. And there she's basically just shut down. She's just accepted that her fate is standing there. And it's not fun, but that's what she just has to do. So here horses don't really like to be touched, especially on the head, right? She's avoiding his hand, she's moving away from him, and that makes our life really difficult because, say, putting the fly mask on, or if she hurt her eye, or, messing with her ears, that becomes a lot harder when she has a previously bad experience. And here, he's continuing to force the fly spray even though she's clearly scared and backing away. And instead of completely taking the pressure off, he continues to apply it so she continues to back away. You can tell too by the shape of her neck that she's not using her body correctly, right? There's a lot of pulling going on, and so she's using her the muscles underneath her neck, which is really bad for her back. So here, this is, I would never pull a horse like this, right? And she clearly doesn't want to be touched. She doesn't want the fly spray. This is just not, and now if I try to approach her with a bottle, which I haven't done, I'm sure she would run away. So that's another thing to start over with. And there, it looks like she's, happy, but she's not. She's miserable. And here, again, you'll see the rope is still attached to her. This is so dangerous, right? Because it could have gotten, this is how horses get killed, because it could have gotten caught up in the trees, in any of the things on the ground, on the fence. She could have tried to escape but been unable to and broken her neck. So I would never do this to a horse. I would never leave a rope attached to them. But again, here she's having to be reeled in like a fish instead of, being caught, instead of approaching them. So it's just ridiculous. And it just adds up to all the negative associations with the halter, right? He continues to apply pressure with the fly spray, continues to touch her face, which she doesn't like. Brushes her even though she clearly doesn't like it. She's walking away and he's still following her. Horses are prey animals, right? We're predators to them, and he keeps putting pressure on her, making her less and less willing to engage with them. Keeps pulling her by the head, which is just really bad for her neck and her pole. And let's see. Okay, so this next one I wanted to point out because the loading in the trailer. So, this is not how you go about loading your horse. You don't pull on the horse to get them to go in. You make the trailer a really good place. She's clearly pulling away. It's all these, just like all of these experiences add up to the reason being why she's not difficult to train, but why it's going to take a lot of time. Because not only do we have to train her, we have to undo all the previous associations with training. And that takes a really long time. And so, I personally don't ever use whips or any sort of tools because it just teaches them to avoid what you're doing, right? She's not engaging with the task. She's not interested in the trailer. She's avoiding the whip in this case, right? She knows she'll get hit with it if she doesn't walk. And this was really upsetting because they took her along for this ride, but they left her in the trailer for, I think they said like 2 hours or something. So you're leaving a horse in a metal box, no food, and she just has to wait there. And why? This is completely unnatural. Horses are evolved to move miles every day, and you're just going to leave her, in a trailer stuck by herself? That's cruel in my opinion. Okay, so here she still has the lead attached to the halter and the pen, which again is really dangerous. See, my horses, they come up to me in the field. I don't ever have to go get them. They're like, oh, mom's here. Let's go do something, right? Let's go train. Let's go have fun. Mom's great. But this case, she's clearly avoiding. And so with this clip right here, I wanted you to see how, well, A, this doesn't make any sense, chasing your horse. And B, I wanted you to see how aggressive they got with her face, how they like pushed her and hit her in the face, because it adds up, right? It's like every time. So now every time I go to touch her face, she's, we're hopefully getting there, and she knows that I'm not going to hurt her. But like in this case, right, he, hits her in the face, move, move, move. And what does that do for you? It just makes her confused and afraid. She doesn't know why he's hitting her. There's no reason to. And she doesn't want to be pet by him. Let's see. Oh, and then this was the picking up the leg with the rope. This is just, it's lazy horsemanship, right? It's lazy training. You could, this is why she doesn't, it's a very vulnerable position for a horse to have its leg picked up, right? They're not designed to walk on 3 legs. And here he hits her for being curious, right? Like, why would you do that? But yeah, it's a very vulnerable position for horses to be in, to have their legs picked up. You have to make it a good experience, otherwise they're never going to want them picked up. So it's, yeah, again, strike however many. And then I think this next one is more use of the fly spray. This is just, he forces her away from him when she's afraid and then keeps chasing her. This is how, like, a mountain lion would chase a horse, right? And horses are instinctual creatures. They're not gonna, they're designed to run away from things that are scary because that's how they survive. So she's not going to have a good association with the spray bottle with his actions here. And again, it's really, really bad for their head to hold them in that position. It's really, she'll probably need some massage there, to be honest. It's my mare has issues in the pole because of her life on the track. And again, he just keeps pushing her away from him when really what you want to do is you want to engage your horse. You know, you want them to want to be with you. And all he's doing now is just pushing her away from him. And here I think was one of the first attempts that they made to leave the halter off in the field. And it's just I mean, yeah, they caught her, but she walked away. She tried to get away. The only reason he was actually able to catch her was because he put the rope over her neck, I believe, in this clip. Just wait a minute. I mean, sure, my horses aren't feral, but they also didn't have, the greatest life before they met me. And so they're very happy to come up to me and hang out, right? I never need to approach them slowly and worry about what they'll do. I mean, they'll follow me without the halter. And clearly she knows what's going on. She knows, she could try to run, but what's the point of running? Because she'll just get punished for that. And then, my horses, again, they put their head down into the halter. I don't ever have to put a rope around their neck. So... I also would never tie with a rope halter. That's so dangerous. And here he's just dragging her along on the ATV, you don't teach a horse to want to walk forward by dragging it. This is incredibly dangerous, right? That's how horses break their necks. Again, I don't know why they think this is a good idea, but it's really bad. And just still dragging her along. I'm not quite sure the point of this, to be honest, but they're doing it, and then they put this poor baby colt and drag him along too. But again, still need she tries to get away because she doesn't want to engage with them. And that's really sad because you want your horse to want to hang out with you. Oh, and then they brought in this hotshot trainer that, he was the one that made her bow down or whatever, which is just absolute nonsense. I don't know. And keeps pushing her away from him. Not quite sure the point of this. It's not how horses learn. It just makes her afraid of the lead rope. It makes her afraid of the halter. It makes her afraid of men. Dragging her along. She's pooping because she's nervous. He keeps applying pressure. For what reason, I'm not quite sure. And he hits her in the head with this flag thing. Don't understand why you would do that to an animal. And then pushes her head down for some reason to submit to him. I don't know. This is insane, right? You can't, no wonder she doesn't want her front legs touched. I wouldn't either if someone tried to take away my leg by force. It doesn't teach her anything. Okay, I think I have one more clip. Yeah, this was and then, I don't know, it must have been at least 4 to 6 weeks of them working with her, and she still runs away from the halter, right? So clearly she doesn't trust them. She doesn't want to be with them. She can't be caught without putting the rope on first. She doesn't want to be haltered, right? He drops the rope here, I think, or something. Yeah, drops the rope and she runs away, or tries to run away. I mean, of course she will, because you haven't put in the work to help her want to do this. Oh, and then the blanket. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk through this and show you kind of what we're up against and why this is going to take a while, and why I think it's really important to go slow. To not only are we trying to train her, but we're also trying to undo all of the negative association she has from her previous training, and it's just going to take a while. But I hope you found this video helpful.